A few years ago, I had the pleasure to do a walk along St. Patrick's Way in Downpatrick, organised by former BBC political correspondent Martina Purdy and barrister Elaine Kelly, both former Adoration sisters based in a convent on the Falls Road. Now, they were unceremoniously ousted from that convent by the Catholic Church, which decided their convent had become, in their words, too small and fragile to meet the Catholic Church's standards for governance. Both were told that their religious vows had expired. What's that mean? And were bid adieu. Now, when I met both women on the walk, it was obvious that their vocations still burned brightly, and that they continued to serve their faith in as practical a fashion as possible. Now, the reason it came to mind this week, it's because I came across the story of 3 other nuns similarly disposed of this time, but this time it was in the Alps, a bit of higher mountains, not the Mournes, the Alps. Yes, Sisters Bernadette, 88, Sister Regina, 86, and Sister Rita, 82, had spent their entire lives at Schloss Goldenstein, a castle in Elsbethen outside Salzburg, which had been turned into a school, and where all 3 nuns had taught their whole lives. One of them was actually the head mistress. Now, as the number of nuns dwindled, the building was taken over by an Augustine monastery whose head was Provost Marcus Gressel, who became the nun superior. The community was officially dissolved, with the remaining nuns granted lifelong residency as long as their health and mental capacity allowed. But in 2023, the decision was taken to transfer the 3 remaining nuns to a Catholic home, where they were very, very unhappy. They were not happy nuns at all. So unhappy were they indeed that, in defiance of their superior, the nuns organised their own great escape, aided by past pupils and a friendly locksmith. Sister Bernadette explained, "I have been obedient all my life, but it was just too much." So with the locks picked, the 3 nuns are back in their beloved castle, Goldenstein convent, where they've been tended to by their past pupils. One of them being Sophie Tauscher, I think her name is. She said, "The nuns belong in the convent. Goldenstein without the nuns is just not possible." Now, their exasperated even superior Provost Grassel, he said, "The nuns' decision to return to the convent was completely incomprehensible, and what he termed an escalation." Of course, what old Grassel hadn't factored in was the mettle of the 3 octogenarian sisters, with Sister Bernadette explaining, "Before I die in that old people's home, I would rather go to a meadow and enter eternity that way." On ya girlie! On ya girlie! So, in a Catholic Church where vocations have shrunk to almost nothing, it might be wise to treat with a bit more respect and care those who've given their entire lives in the service of the Church.